And God forbid you don't offer somebody the same alley oop you gave them the summer before or so, and you did that. They're gonna look at you like, bro, how could you? It's like, man, like, dog, how many oops can I throw? Like, I gotta score myself too, bro. Like, I'm wide open for the shot.
You're now tuned into the Wellbeing Wake Up.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Creative bag, you know what I'm saying? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuned into the Wellbeing Wake Up on the UpNUp Network. I'm your host, Rebel. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the family, welcome to the show, welcome to the space. This is episode 4. And yeah, man, this series is tailored towards having real dialogue for direction. We want to make it a sanctuary, something that we can utilize to bring in a lot of amazing professionals, creatives, entrepreneurs, builders, dreamers, and just dope human beings to come together and really, share their insights, provide their guidance in how we all are navigating this world, navigating our industries, navigating our spaces. And so we're honored to have you guys with us today. And now let's build. Today we're joined by two amazing brothers. I know them personally, but I believe this is their first time meeting, which is amazing, which is the point of the show. Today I'm joined by Caleb Jackson, who represents the Uplift Investment Group. They're doing amazing work, as well as Hugh, the Marshall Hugh of the Marshall Law Band, community builder as well. That's about as far as my intro is going to go. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. So yeah, I'll kick it to Marshall. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. I just made the trek from Los Angeles, California.
Hey.
First time driving. Like those of you that don't know, I was late getting my license.
Yeah.
I was late in life. I thought I didn't need it. Then I got it and I realized how vital it is. So I did my first solo road trip up from Los Angeles, listened to a bunch of albums I hadn't heard in a while, got the call from you. And I'm really happy we could make it work and I get a chance to meet you. So yeah, my name's Marshall and I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, tell them a little bit about some of the work you've been doing and have been doing.
Yeah, right on.
Don't be modest, bro.
Yeah, be modest.
Don't be modest.
Don't say nothing.
I think the main thing that I've been able to do with the help of an amazing team around me is change the creative community to be a true community. I think 5 years ago, our default as a community was to go at each other's necks, was to find the things that were dissimilar instead of similar. And right now, especially in the music scene, I feel like the groundwork that myself, others, and the team around me have put in to lead with love, lead with community, has finally created the soil for an explosion of the Seattle music and creative scene. And I think we're in a peak position right now, the best I've seen it. And I know for a fact that the energy that we put into cultivating that space, because we did so with intentionality, has a big role to play in what we're seeing right now, me along as others. But definitely, as you tell me not to be humble, I definitely have to claim that, because I know the intentionality that went beyond it, and now to see the fruits of that labor being there, not only for myself and the band to be able to be a staple here in the Pacific Northwest and perform internationally and accomplish some things that were only just a dream, but to see my peers and the people, the generation coming below, taking this thing to new heights. I just left Oblate Reed's listening party, and the thing that brother and his team are going to be able to do, are going to be able to put Seattle on the map the way we've wanted to since Sir Mix-a-Lot type thing. This is exciting, and that's where I pride myself, as being able to be a major contributor and getting that soil ready.
Got you, bro. Thank you for being here, bro.
Hey, hell yeah.
Yeah, brother Caleb.
What's going on, everybody? Quick question: did you take the I-5 or the 101? Or
I-5 straight the way up.
Okay, quick ride. Yep. Just wanted to know. My name's Caleb Jackson. I am a Seattle kid.
usually depending on like the scene, I kind of introduce myself differently.
Mhm.
This one's kind of like interesting, but I'll
Hybrid.
say that I'll take you through like my whole journey. Is I'm traditionally a real estate investor. There's a point in my life where that got kind of boring, and I kind of got accidentally thrusted into this community organizing space.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, it was just like, okay, something I could do part time. But the more and more I'm in it, the more and more it's like, you kind of find your community, and it's like, this is dope. This is cool. I was at the Black Wall Street thing on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and at the booth, just chilling,
Yeah.
seeing friends from high school and middle school, passing out information, teaching people about home ownership and things that are going on with city council. The city council, we did a petition. City council on Tuesday had about 200 people show up
Yeah.
to reject a lot of like some of the stuff they're trying to do with the EDI funding.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like, it's dope when you can like be around people and be kind of in your purpose, make money, do what you like and call it work.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
now I'm just a housing advocate. So
Yeah.
introduce myself as that.
Thank you for being here, man. Both of y'all, man. This is dope. This is what it's about, and it's fitting that both of y'all kind of contribute to the same thing, just in different ways, myself included. Like, I think that's the whole overarching theme is there's so many ways we can contribute. There's so many ways we can add, you know what I mean, and push us all forward. So as you guys know, every Wellbeing Wake Up episode has an overarching theme. This episode's theme is centered around paying it forward, not backward, right? And I definitely wanted to just I want to start off by, I was looking this up earlier today. I just wanted to get like the kind of the standard Webster definition of what it means to pay forward. And it says, paying it forward is an expression for describing the beneficiary of a good deed, repaying the kindness to others rather than paying it back to the original beneficiary, right? And I think all three of us in here have been recipients, right, of benefits, right? Whether that be however you want to describe it, you know what I mean? Whether it's experience, whether it's wisdom, knowledge, guidance. And I just want to talk about kind of what does that mean for you guys to pay it forward, the things that you've been given, and how have you seen it work for you and kind of help you contribute?
Yeah, I know for me, being able to pay it forward is the biggest blessing
Mm-hmm.
because that means that at one point you either learned something or were gifted something. And I think you have a decision to make as soon as that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Is this something that you're going to hoard for yourself and try to use it as a gain? Or is this something that you're going to look as a wide perspective and a community-based gift? And when you make that decision becomes a habit. And once that habit of sharing your ideas, sharing your resources is established within yourself, then it goes to your community and it goes to the wider group. And when you have people that they don't even always have to be like-minded, but when you have people that share in that ideal of resource sharing, that's when you can see a shift in a large enough group of people to actually make an impact. And when you asked me about this, I was like, the people in my life that I've experienced that consistently pay it forward, these mentors of mine, those ones that have that core principle are the ones that seem to be the happiest later in life. Whereas I see people that have a solitude and a egocentric, or maybe not egocentric, but like a isocentric look on their gifts and their wealth and their resources, those tend to be the people that find themselves, not surprisingly, isolated later on in their life, whether that be in their relationships or their professional life. And
It's interesting.
I haven't seen that yield the level of happiness.
Yeah.
So paying it forward is really ultimately a guide towards happiness.
I like that. You broke that down. That's good.
I like how you said that, because it's always been crazy to me, because you see like in high school or even like college, you see like these big time, like the first thing you're kind of aware of is like the music industry, right?
Yeah.
And you'll see like Jay-Z with like people who are like, just getting started. You're just like, why? Right? It's just like, why are you so like enamored with this person, right? Because you can tell it's genuine, and it's
Yeah.
like, why? And then, I realized when I started my entrepreneur endeavors that I had that same feeling with these people who were like making a bunch of money or in a certain position and would be working with me
Yeah.
like consistently. And I would
Yeah.
feel like I'm a bother, like they're like, nah, it's cool. Let's get some food. I'll pay. Like just really genuinely like
Yeah.
giving, and I think that when I got to a place where I could do it, I understand it perfectly now because it's a lot like you said. It's fulfilling. It's nice. And it's always great to be around like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you're at the 100th level or the first level,
Mm-hmm.
you're working towards the same goal and you have that in common. You have that same, desire to grow. And sometimes it's just that desire to grow is what links you. Like we've had,
Yeah.
we were in the back seat of the van in Addis
Yeah.
talking, having deep
Bro, we was in the
conversations.
club in Addis, bro. Just like
Club.
everybody's turning up, and we over here talking about building community and
Mhm.
resource sharing and all that, bro. So, nah,
Yeah.
like I think it's something you live too, bro. I think you just walk in it. That's why I also wanted to ask, like, sometimes we don't even know we're paying it forward. It's so natural, and I think it is kind of like it can kind of be a guilt when you've given something and you don't do nothing with it, right? Like you limit its potential, right? And I think that's part of what I wanted to kind of touch on was I think all we want to do is help contribute and try to move things forward, but a lot of what we do, even here at the Up and Up, is all about the next generation, and I think you have to make that effort to pay it forward so that you can show them an example of what that looks like. But it's not easy either.
Yeah.
It's not easy sometimes because I don't fault someone for sitting there and not keep making that a primary thing for them
Yeah.
when they're trying to figure their own stuff out.
Right.
Right. So how do you balance that? How do you balance like, yo, I'm still figuring my stuff out, but in the meantime, let me also help those who don't have it figured out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Interesting question.
Yeah.
So I read this book or somebody said it or his article, something like that, but it was like one of the keys to growth is spending your time with like 3 different sets of people, like mentors, peers, and mentees, right? The mentors will teach you where to go. The peers are just kind of like, it's a good like support system to like share where you're at. And then the mentors, you're helping them up. And usually when you're teaching them, you're also telling yourself something. Like, I don't know about you guys, but some of my biggest revelations in life have been telling somebody something and listening to what I'm saying and being like, listen what you're saying to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just told them that. Can I say that? My bad. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
you already said it. It's cool.
Yeah. So
Nah,
it's
you're
like, so I think that it's practically it's important. I think that, but like you said, there is a part where it's just like, if you want to listen, I usually don't have an issue helping you, right? Where I find the guilt or the struggle personally is like the people who are a little bit harder to help, the ones that you see more in them than they see of themselves, right? And so it's like you're saying the same thing over and over. That gets to be something, but then again, it's like, well, at least I tell myself, like, if I don't help, who will? But that is a struggle. Like, it's definitely just like, calling again. What's going on?
Yeah.
The same thing as the week ago. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, all right, well,
Yeah.
let's, and then I got other things I'm working on. So yeah, that's the one that kind of like, it's hard for me. But if it's somebody who's like actively growing and, they're showing up and, they're just a pleasure to be around.
Yeah.
I'll trick off some work and just be like, just get wrapped up in a conversation
Yeah.
sometime, So
Yeah, I just think it's also like it just kind of comes. There's like hidden responsibilities that come with things that we want to do, positions that we want to play, and I think sometimes we're having so much fun doing our thing that we don't want to acknowledge the responsibility that comes with it, right? Because you're going to be elevated to a certain space that you worked hard for, but now you're kind of alone in that space because you may be one of the first amongst where you once were, and there's a responsibility that comes with that, right? Because now you have to be somewhat of the liaison or like the ambassador or the bridge, and I don't know if people think about that. I think they're thinking about, man, I'm doing my thing. I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, and I think it's bigger than that. You know what I mean? I think doors get open, but you got to make sure you're not going through it for no reason. You know? So I don't know what you guys' thoughts are on that.
Yeah, I
But
think I was actually talking to my drummer, Matt, the hospitality.
shout out Matt.
Shout out that boy Matt. He's so I think he's in Reno, Nevada right now. But
Okay.
he says he's gonna make it a band practice tomorrow at 1:30. Guy never lets me down. So I'm like, where are you? He's like, Reno. I'm like, bro, I'm back here. Like, you got practice tomorrow. He's like, I'll be there, man. Don't worry. But yeah, him and I were talking about this, and I'm very blessed to have him in my circle, especially in this music thing, because when you're in a band, everybody knows, like, everyone plays certain roles, and he's someone that, as far as having the vision and entrepreneurially, he's as driven, if not more so, than myself. And so we're able to tandem and split up the responsibilities. And the way he put it to me that has really resonated with me is that, hey, you and I are leading, we're the ones with the torches, right? And when you carry the torch, you're going to get the ashes on you, you're going to get the burn marks, you're going to have to fight through the brush that's in front of you, but only you can see that.
Yeah.
And then the people that come behind you are going to have the luxury of going through a clear path.
Yep.
They're not going to have the ash get in their eyes and get burnt by it.
Yeah.
But they're going to be able to travel along that path with
Yeah.
you. And that's the burden or the guilt that,
Yeah.
you were discussing comes with being a leader. And I feel like a lot of times being a leader is a chosen position
Yeah.
that was granted to you by whatever entity or spirituality that you may subscribe to. And when you are a leader, you can tell, dang, I got chosen.
Yeah.
And you can run from that responsibility all you want, but it'll always be within you. And I think that for me, my challenge has been on how to maintain myself so that I can properly lead at a level that is honoring the gifts given. Because I'm always consistently going to lead in subtle little things, but I know when I'm leading at a high clip for myself and my potential. And as long as I'm doing that, then I feel satisfied and fulfilled, regardless of like financial situation or like accreditations or accomplishments. Those will come.
Yeah.
But fulfillment only comes when I know I'm in synchronicity with the gifts given.
Yeah.
And
you're using them.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's the best affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
When you know, like, your potential is not being wasted. You know what I mean? Yeah. And our potential is like unlimited, but in this very moment, we're making best use of what we've been given and where our potential currently is at. And when you're doing that, and I think that's what you're talking about when you like, there's like an ease and a peace. Doesn't mean you're satisfied. Doesn't mean you don't want to do way more shit. But I can sleep at night knowing like, yo, I'm trying.
Exactly.
You know,
You running your own race. Word to the rug.
Actually, true.
Word to the
Word to the rug. Shout out the rug.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And I think we're all figuring it out.
Yeah.
The paying it forward aspect. One thing that just popped in my head was, and I feel like I struggle with this sometimes because I'm very tunnel vision. Sometimes I'm just like really locked in on things, but I realize like sometimes you have to make yourself accessible to be able to like pay it forward too, right? Because there's a lot of us out here it's hard for us to reach out and ask for help, let alone like feel like we're bothering someone. So I do think part of it is, part of that responsibility is providing some sort of like entry point or entryway for people to like get what you're trying to pay forward. You know what I mean? Get the resources you're trying to pay back to them or the knowledge, because it can be intimidating for some people to come up to a marshal and be like, hey, I need your help, when they don't think that you are receptive to that. You know what I mean? So I do think we have to kind of create open channels and make it like a receptive thing, and just make it more open where people feel comfortable coming up to you and asking for help.
Yeah. I actually have a question.
Yeah.
You, Marshall. You were saying that you had some great mentors, right? But then you're also the leader, right? Which is kind of, the circle of life, right? How do you think you approach them, or what do you think attracted them to you, or being in when they were paying it forward to you, right? How do you think, was that easy? Because kind of in your reference, it was there are a lot of people who were intimidated, right?
Yeah.
So I know how I kind of handled it, but I just want to know how you guys treated that when you guys were getting in that mentee role.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it was just like happenstance or fortune to be put in the same places as a lot of my mentors. And
Mm.
for me, I've been lucky enough, whether it was innate or learned, I'm don't like I don't really get intimidated by someone with either status or like financials or wisdom. I'm able to like let my own star shine in those moments. And I think a lot of times that's what attracted a lot of my mentors to me to say, wow, this person is confident enough in themselves to bring their true self to me.
Mm-hmm.
And now, if I can impart some of my wisdom to a person with this default, then they're going to be able to apply their knowledge and skill in their own lane, that I can bestow upon them. So I think the main thing was being able to be comfortable with myself in my own skin, and that attracted mentors to be able to align themselves with me.
Yeah, I think I'm the exact same way. Is why I kind of wanted to ask that question, and because your question posed, a thought to me where just like, well, like, how how can I be, or how does one become more accessible? Because it's kind of like I said in my first thing. If there's this one dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm gonna go tell the story. Sorry, I'm going.
Go
on a
ahead. We ain't
tangent.
dropping no
Go ahead.
names though.
There's this one dude, right? And he hit me up, and people hit me up all the time, right? But he hit me up. He was like, "Hey, I have this problem. Thinking about doing this, right?" I
Mhm.
remember I talked to him for like 30 minutes, right? I met him at a networking thing, and 30 minutes. He called me back 2 weeks later and was like, "Oh, I did exactly what you told me to do. Now I want to do this and that." And the shock that I had of like him being actually like listening and doing it and calling
Yeah.
back and
Yeah.
coming back for more was just like, oh my God, great. Yeah. Well, no, then just this and
Yeah.
that. It's easy after that, right? But it was like, and I feel like I'm like that, where it's just like if I ask for something that's
Yeah.
like for some information and it's good, I'm on it like
Yeah.
immediately,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have no problem being the dumbest person in the room and learning, right?
Yeah.
And I know that other people, like I said, again, there's people who I see this potential in that I really want to like. I feel like I'm as accessible as I can be,
Mm-hmm.
but like there's no callback, there's no like,
Yeah.
follow up. You know what I mean? I'm just like,
Yeah.
you sound like you're dope. You sound like you'd be great. I love your vision. Let's like just let me know. You know what I mean? I'll make some
Yeah.
time, and it's just I just don't. I don't feel that, and I feel like that's like 90% of like the people who
Yeah.
reach out to
Well,
me.
that I think that's all you can do.
Right.
I think when you let people know, hey, I'm willing to help, and I do see potential. It's a two-way street, because we've all been there. We've all. I mean, I know I've been there in times when I haven't followed up, and I probably haven't heard back from them, but I understand because that was on me.
Yeah.
Because I probably wasn't as serious.
Yeah. Yeah. Like we thought.
I probably wasn't, and I think that's kind of a lot of people deal with that. But one thing that I realized, bro, is with the mentorship thing. I think when I was younger, I really was like very immature in my approach, like where I would only want some help from someone because I just needed help, right? So I wasn't confident in my like approach. It was very much like a one-sided thing. Like I just need help because I'm trying to get here. And I think as I get older and I get more confident and I actually kind of grew into like a deeper understanding of my value and what I'm trying to do, it becomes easier to be yourself. It becomes easier to kind of just walk into these situations. And yeah, they're a mentor, but you actually are like confident in what you can potentially provide in terms of value. Right. So then I think it changes the dynamic of like how you approach them, how they deal with you, how they're attracted to you. Right. Because they're still going to want to help you. Right. But your approach is more so, hey, I'm working my ass off. This is what I'm doing. I think I could add value. If not, cool. But like, I just want to let it be known that I'm here to help. And I think I wasn't like that when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I think that takes time. So I do think you want to be accessible, but people still gotta kind of go through their path and figure things out too.
And and you probably still got that help, right? Like,
Yeah,
even though you didn't follow up, you probably still,
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But this is just reflecting and knowing, like, damn, I went about it all wrong. But then again, we're growing and we're learning as we get older. So
Yeah, I think that to your point is I sometimes experience burnout as a very accessible person. And I've had to put kind of uh like pillars or barriers in the way to events like I do this thing called Fremont Fridays. So like every single Friday during the summer, you know where I'm gonna be at. You know I'm going to be right
Right.
there.
mhm.
And if you're a performer, I tell anybody like, look, me and my band, we're setting it up and tearing down this whole thing. If you want it as bad as you say that you want it, and you don't want to just come and get paid by me to perform in front of the people I have brought to you, then show up. I show up there at noon. Show up there and put in a couple consistent weeks of work, and then you'll see by the end of the summer there'll be about 2 or 3 people out of the 400 submissions that we might say no to that consistently more than 3 or 4 times throughout the summer show up and set up with us, show up and tear down. And then that's kind of my filtration process so I don't get as burnt out, because I used to just, hey, you want to meet up? Let's meet up. Oh, you want to do this? I'm responding to DMs. I'm taking all this time.
Yeah.
And it's like, I need to, number one, prioritize myself and put that time into myself. And then I got to see and put, kind of filtration in place to see who's actually serious enough and at least has the work ethic to apply the advice I'm going to give them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
that is
That's real.
what I've found for myself. And, it's still a work in process, but I think that throughout time, creating those types of checks and balances have been the best for me, because my big thing is that I was experiencing burnout, and I was like, where are the random people that I can just send a DM to that are going to put me on the Showbox stage and pay me to do it and then take me
Yeah.
on tour,
Yeah.
and I don't got to send any emails or like put up any money.
Right.
Yeah.
And those people are just not coming around.
Yeah.
And then I look at myself, I'm like, dang, I'm doing this for a lot of people that are asking me, like,
Yeah.
I might need to pump the brakes because I can't, I got to leave space for even myself to be able to elevate more.
Yeah, that's important, bro.
Spitting.
I swear,
Yeah.
I'll be seeing Marshall move. I'll be like, damn. Even like when we were about to do the World Is Yours collaboration with Fremont Fridays, which we'll end up eventually still doing, but it didn't happen last summer. But like, even through that process of you talking about it and we're talking about it, I know I'm like, he still got all this other shit he's doing, and so I'm like, yo, like that is dope, bro, to be that accessible. But I do think it's a responsibility, bro, because then now you're doing yourself a disservice, like you said, when you're not your best self.
Absolutely. And God forbid you don't offer somebody the same alley-oop you gave them the summer before or so, and they're going to look at you like, bro, how could you?
Yeah.
It's like, man, like, dog, how many oops can I throw? Like, I got to score myself, too, bro. Like, I'm wide open for the shot. Like, I got to shoot sometimes,
It's
too.
their first quarter. What we throwing alley-oops for,
And I'm
bro?
doing all the work.
Like, it's crazy, bro. So, I think dealing with that, it feels like a sense of entitlement, but people want it so bad for themselves that they don't even really know that they might come off like they're using you. And it's part of the accepted burden that us as people who have built a habit of paying it forward, you got to expect damn near 90%, like you talk about, to kind of at the end be on the other side of the transaction a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But that 10%, in my experience, when you do see somebody that you went out of your way to help and they send you that message like, bro, thank you, like that genuine thank you, that's what you do it for.
Yeah.
That genuine thank you.
It's Drake. I know it's not popular like Drake right now, but Drake got this bar. He goes, He says, "Don't just say you're down. You got to show me. Bring the clip back empty, right?" And like, and so it's so hard, right? And for me, it's a little bit of a mind fuck, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like when people try to work with me, the first thing I say now is like, "You don't want to volunteer for me." Because usually it's like, "Hey man, can I do some stuff? Can you hire me?" And I'm like, "You don't want to volunteer for me for 3 months, right?" And I just immediately just set that expectation, right? Because it's like you're not getting ready to get paid
Yeah.
because you can't do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and I give this advice to everybody. I'm just like, even if it's not me, just go work tirelessly and volunteer for somebody who you admire and want to get underneath, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the key to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's like you said, you do so much work and you put people on, you get so burnt out. Like there's nothing more disheartening for me than training somebody for like 3 months. I could have done it myself faster, quicker,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I train you for 3 months. And then you're like, well, this ain't for me. And now I don't even have, there was no benefit for me, right?
Yeah.
And I hope you go on and do great things, but it's just like, there's just so many, like you said, there's just so many people who want something and you start giving and giving, and then you just realize, you know, there's got to be this buffer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really haven't found that yet, because even volunteering with me, it's like I don't even want that, because there's nothing, everything you're doing I have to train for, so I have to like be there to do, you know. And so it's a little bit of a waste, but it's like, but having that buffer is so important. I tell everybody that. I haven't found that for me yet, but that's perfect. What you were just talking about, like that's like next level of like setting yourself up to really, you know, I'm still gonna throw oops to people who don't, you know, who I gotta wait at the box, wait for you to run down court. You probably gonna jog a little bit,
Yeah.
throw you the loop. I still gotta wait for those, but and I'm gonna still throw those, but at least I know that, where you're at, you know.
Yeah. No, I think that's important too, because I just feel like if you have to know what position you're in. Back to that point again, just when you're in positions of service, and if your intentions to serve, just know when you make yourself available and
Yeah.
you promote, hey, I'm here to serve y'all, whoever y'all are,
Yeah.
just know what's gonna come back,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that 90% is gonna come,
Yeah.
right? And that 10% is within there as well. So I think it is understanding that and being comfortable with that. Because
Yeah.
I always say this, man, if you're gonna create something, you're trying to build something that is intended to serve and give back and just really uplift and pour out,
Yeah.
like we're all consumers, right? But not everybody's a contributor. So everybody's thinking, where can I get it from? As soon as you make yourself available. So you should also be mindful of understanding how to manage that,
Yeah.
manage what comes with that
I will
position.
I will say one last thing with the new area of focus I'm in with community organizing.
Yeah, talk about it.
I love that. Like, and it's because, you get, you can, it can be 100% people who I'm throwing alley oops to, right?
Yeah.
There's still another organization that compensates you in some way, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just like, it's almost the ultimate, it's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done in my life, because I get to help people all day long, right?
Yeah.
And I don't have to ask anything of them. I don't have to expect anything of them,
Yeah.
right? I'm not wasting my time because there's another organization
Yeah.
that's pouring into me,
Yeah.
So that's like that part's amazing when you can just help without, because like you said, there's those times where it's just like that 10%, it's so rewarding. It's amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I also think it's like if you truly want to keep this thing going, you got to pay it forward. Because I'll give you an example. There was a young brother who reached out to me like a few months ago, and he was trying to get access to this resource, or he just thought I had knowledge on it, which I did. Not this specific one he was trying to get access to, but I said, "Yo, okay, this is what you're trying to do. All right, bet. Let me go see what I can find." Found something. I said, "Boom. All right, this is the process I would normally do. I'd say reach out to this person who's in charge of it. Boom, 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 boom." And that was about it. That was the conversation. He goes and does mind you, he's been doing all the work. So he just needed access to a little bit of information.
Mm.
See what I'm saying? So he went and did all that. and it ended up working out for him. And then we had met up a little bit after that, and I just remember how like he was grateful for it, but even in him thanking me, he said he was like, man, I just didn't really want to bother you, and when as he was saying that, I was like, damn, I was like, bro, this is I want to do this,
Mm-hmm.
but it also made me realize like, damn, bro, there's people who really need that because now it's a ripple effect. He's gonna go and do that same thing for whoever reaches out to him. You know what I mean? So I think it is important to make sure you pay it forward without thinking what's gonna come back. Just know, like, yo, just set an example like this.
Yeah.
Set an example. This is how I rock, and whether it worked out for you or didn't, I just want you to know this is how it should be done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man. I really admire that about you. You know, like I remember after we hooped or whatever, you gave me a ride home.
Yeah.
And like, bro, I maybe asked you one question and you parked the car, bro. You were talking to me for like 15 minutes, just giving me game on game on game. And I was looking at you or you were talking and I was doing my best to listen to.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this person is not only giving me a ride home, but taking their time to give me specific, applicable knowledge that I barely even had to ask for. And then as I take a moment to, you know, reflect on like this room, and that's something I'm trying to do is be more present. It's like, man, you got 5 Black people together and you have a podcast that's not talking about like neighborhood politics or all the other like dumb stuff you see on your phone. Every time you scroll, you're talking about like advancement and helping one another.
Yeah.
And I got to commend you for that, bro, because that's who you've been since like I met you, bro.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful to see your consistency with that.
Appreciate you, bro.
And I'm really, you know, appreciative to have you as a friend and have this platform and be able to be here. And every time I see your stuff pop up, I'm getting nutrients from it. I'm actually getting something powerful from it.
Yeah.
I might scroll on my phone. I can see like a no jumper or academics clip. It's like I'm literally getting, I'm getting dumber.
Yeah,
I'm consuming this piece of content.
Yeah,
but you could do that and probably get more clicks.
Yeah,
but you choose not to because you know that you're giving people a nutritious, palatable diet, bro.
Yeah,
and that you know, respect to all y'all, bro, for doing that, and you as well for your
appreciate that, bro,
dog, because that moment really hit me, man. I'm like, wow, you know, this is special, bro.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, and it's crazy you say that because I feel like I remember that even in that car ride, I was just like, I was more like, I gotta get this shit off. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of times we just have information to just give, and all it takes is just one question. And at that moment, I was really like, damn, I'm probably just talking this dude's ear off. I know that's how I felt. That's how I felt. You know when you feel like you're like, yo, I'm just talking so much right now. Like he didn't even ask me about none of this shit.
I'm a talker too.
Yeah.
So when someone else is like talking more than me, I'm like,
I'm like in my head, I'm like, man, I'm trying to just give as much information because I don't know when next time I'm gonna see him too. So, but
in the club,
yeah, we're in the club.
I like the juice.
No, bro, literally, we was in the club. We were just chopping. Next thing you know, it's just like we're having a full on just deep dive on shit.
Oh, man.
I was like, yo, but I think
we're weirdos, but that's what's up.
Literally.
That's what's up.
I'm talking like bottle service,
bro. Literally, I didn't care about that thing. Oh my god, bro.
Generational wealth is obtainable. I'm the same way though. I'd rather dive deep, bro.
It's crazy, deep, bro. But nah, like I think it is important though, bro. And I just think it is important to know, like, man, you don't know the effects of what you do, and you don't know the ripple effects of those things, you know. So I just brought up that story because like that young brother's gonna go on and do dope stuff. But he was already doing dope stuff. So it was like, man, a lot of times people are just missing a little bit of information.
Have you guys ever felt like either side, you either like a mentee? It's only happened to me once, but it was like I felt great about it, and kind of how you were talking about it reminded me of it. Somebody who you feel like you mentored has like gone on and like they're like super in their element, right? Like they're thriving, right? Has that ever experienced that?
Yeah, I mean not mentored, but my guy right here is a superstar, bro. You know, I wouldn't say I mentored, but like, or we mentored, but it's just like we created an energy in the room,
Right.
and it's like you see someone start something, and then they just go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It had nothing to do with you really, but to your point, like sometimes you just see people start something and they just go. And that's why I love the show, because it's like there's people we've had on our show. When we interviewed them, it was like their first time getting into the field or just jumping into the space, and then like years later, they just take it to crazy levels. And so people see this crazy level, and that's where they get introduced to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then me, I'm just like, I'm not surprised, bro.
Yeah.
You know, because you have context.
Yeah.
So I think context is important. Back to like what you were saying, I think that's all people want. They want to see like the context, the journey.
Yeah.
You know, and they want to know that you're working towards it. And I think that's important. But yeah, that's definitely shout out Binion, bro, for sure. He's a perfect example of that. He could tell you, he just came. He's like, first time I had a camera. Now he's like the guy, bro.
Come on, man.
You know, so
yeah, I think for me, it's always interesting. Obviously, being in the music space, you know, seeing some of my friends like go on platforms that are like big time platforms and do their thing. That's really exciting. A lot of times, you know, you don't see it happening, but I was kind of the first one of my friend group to pursue an entrepreneurial space. And then a lot of my friends went into the corporate world. And now I'm looking at, but you know, as we had talked about, I've always like the people I really click with are like the people that are talking like deep stuff in the club, or like, you know, aren't just talking superficial stuff. I've always had like my close friendships are people that we dive deep with. And now a lot of my close friends, seriously, almost all of them are entrepreneurs on their own. And they took like their corporate money and like invested it into their passions. And, you know, a good bulk of them are like successful off of it and putting in, you know, hours and hours now, might still have their job, but you can tell like that fire got lit. And that's so exciting to see, because I had always seen it in them. And when I first, you know, left school to like go do that, they were looking at me like, bro, like this is just like never going to work. and they're good friends for that, you know what I mean? Because that was their orientation, and they're like, no, bro, like you got all this, like just apply it to like the system and it'll work for you, you know, which is true as well. But to see them come over to this side of things and how free they are, bro, like seeing these guys that like it looked like, damn, their spirit was kind of getting slowly stripped from them. Not saying all corporate jobs or whatever do that to you, but if you have that entrepreneurial bug in you and you have that like sense of individual creation in you, it's never gonna like go away. It's only gonna be suppressed.
It's never gonna go away.
And to see my homies like strip that and to run full speed into that, that has been so exciting and so rewarding.
This is the era for it.
Like
I could point at everybody in this room who's found a way to take their gifts, their talents, their vision, their skill sets, and leverage it into something that's for them. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you just break it down like that, anybody can do that. You know, but I think it's a matter of just kind of looking at like, damn, okay, what do I really enjoy doing? What am I good at? What am I confident in? And what am I like enthused about? And how can I put all those in a pot and then work hard towards them, and then just try to go and add that value in different places. You know?
Find where to add that value at.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm a basketball coach too, so that's the easiest way to like see it in real time. High school varsity, Jackson High School up in Mill Creek.
Okay,
we got a really good program.
Yeah, no, y'all was hooping. I pulled up to that one game.
See, like bro, him Chase Fade, like you know, y'all the type of people you know I aspire to be around. You know, because like all my homies, all like, bro. Hundreds of people will respond to my like Instagram stories like, oh, when you play? I said the schedule to 100 people, bro. Only 2 people will ever pull up. Him and Chase Fade, bro.
Let's go, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, that's a good brother, bro. God damn, bro. Shit. I need some better friends than this. I need to hang with this guy, bro. Give me rides, life lessons, pull up to the game. I'm like, damn, this is like actually a friend, bro. So, you know, like, I appreciate you for that, bro.
Yeah, no, that was dope, though. Because I'm out the loop when it comes to high school basketball. So I I kind of selfishly wanted to go just to see like what's the scene look like, but
Yeah.
they was
And
hooping.
our
They was
boys were
hooping.
getting after
They was
it, huh?
hooping, bro. They
Yeah,
was
and
hooping.
like this year team specifically, like in years past, we might have had more talented kids, but they were like either at odds with themselves or the parents maybe were telling them this way and they wanted to play that way. But this year, I mean, shout out those kids. They were talented for sure, but you know, we're not gonna have anybody go on to play like Division 1 or even D2 or those type of things. But they were such a unit and I do a lot of the film work and a lot of the scouting report. And man, these kids would lock in during the session, and they knew every tendency that I brought to them. And we ended up, you know, getting to the state playoffs, and that was really exciting. So, as a, I can't always see it in the creative field. I can't always see it in real time with these mentees I have, but in the coaching sphere or working with the youth,
Yeah.
like the youth,
Yeah.
that's when you're paying it forward has faster results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so with the youth, I can take the 90-10 ratio. I can take that all day.
Yeah, facts.
And the 90, I'll still like have a lot of love, and there won't be any like. It's never really hard feelings. I really not a hard feelings type guy, but it's like I never
More grace. You got grace for
Yeah,
all
I got
that.
grace for the
Yeah.
youth.
Yeah.
Youth, I'm cool with.
Yeah.
When it's you got like a peer or something that is part of that 90 group of kind of wasting your time or wasting your resources,
Yeah.
it's hard to have that same level of grace.
Yeah.
And
It's timing.
yeah.
I think also like it's like, man, sometimes maybe it's just not the right time,
Yeah.
and it's part of that 90% is that it's not a matter of, it's not even me. It's not a me thing or a you thing. It's just a timing thing.
And to your point with the 90% with kids, because I think you get to have like for instance the thing you brought up where it's like I got help,
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't reach back out, so I didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're coaching, you see the little thing, right? So even though they're part of the 90%, you see that they were just reaching out for help and they turned it around. I coached when I first got out of college, and the way you lit up, kind of reminded me of that. It's I always say coaching is the most free I've ever felt, like ever is in that space. And literally, my brother is a coach. My sister coaches college women's basketball.
Oh, damn.
And most of my friends are.
So you're the only one who doesn't coach then?
I'm the only one that doesn't
Okay,
coach
okay.
still,
Okay.
right? Like she has a career. She gets paid six
Yeah.
figures to coach, right?
Awesome.
So, and most of my friends coach high school basketball, right?
Yeah.
And like I still be like, I need to jump back in there, right? But
Yeah.
I just go to games now.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
for sure,
But I
for
seen
sure.
how you lit up, and I remember
It's
that
nice,
feeling.
man.
It's like because it's that giving back, and you feel it more, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to comment on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I definitely encourage people out there, man. Like, you know what? I also realized a lot of times people are just waiting for someone to reach out to them.
Yeah.
Right? We're talking from a perspective of having a lot of encounters, but then there's people who literally got wealth of knowledge, experience, and they may not be the most accessible, but they're just waiting for someone to reach out to them. So I definitely want to encourage anybody listening out there, man, especially if you're coming up or you feel like you got a lot ahead of you and you just want to learn more. Man, you got to shoot your shot too.
Yeah.
Because the people who are at the level that you are trying to get at or just want to learn from, they may not always be the ones to make themselves accessible. They may not even be in an industry where they're supposed to present themselves like that. So I would definitely say shoot your shot, man. But I'm almost certain it's hard to turn people away.
Yeah.
It's hard to turn people away when they're actively wanting to learn and grow. You know what I mean?
I would say that if you are trying to find that mentor, I think the 90-10 is upside down. Like 90% of people are going to want to help you, right?
Mhm.
Even if we get busy and you're probably not going to annoy them. They probably really want to help you and make time as long as you are really serious about it. It's shoot the shot. That's what I found. Even me reaching out to mentors, I don't really,
Yeah.
I've never seen that. So
Shoot your shot.
shoot your
I think
shot.
that's something I definitely need to do a better job of, because it's like the creative space and the bubble that we are in, as like musicians or like Black event curators,
Mm-hmm.
man, is so small, and I feel like currently I'm just like kind of knocking my head, my fists, and everything against the glass ceiling to where I'm not sure where the mentors are at for me to ask that really understand and get someone that is dealing with the ceiling that I'm dealing with. And, I can ask maybe the people that run insert whatever festival,
Yeah.
but like those people don't look like me. And those people don't understand what I'm going through, even though they're in that field. So I need to find somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's a good
I'm
point.
I used to, when I was ascending up, there were people to ask, but now it's like, who do I ask?
Yeah.
When you are the person that you would ask,
Yeah.
but you still got further to go. It's like, hold on, bro. There's got to.
No, that is a good point though, because I do think there is a familiarity that is sometimes needed, right? And you want to feel like the person you're reaching out to is like identifiable, can relate, and sometimes that could be hard to find.
Yeah,
Definitely.
So every mentor I've had has been Black except for my last one, right? Technically my current one. Shout out to Aaron, but and he's white, right? And it's the story of how I met him is really weird. Like you were saying, kind of being yourself. I was myself in a same right place, right time, right? And a relationship blossomed because he was like, I'm thinking I'm gonna talk to him about this business, right? Like, let's get to business. He's like, so what are you doing? I was like, oh, I just finished up a class, right? He's like, what class? And I was like, oh, it was a coaching class. Like, and I'm just gonna get my questions ready. And he was like, what coaching class? I was like, it was life coaching. So I'm just trying to, center myself and then also be able to help people who I talk to, right? So just like get that. He was like, who taught it? And I was like, all right, we'll get into it. Fine. It was this, and this, and I studied this, and I'm trying to like figure this out. And he was like, oh, you should study this and that. Yeah. And where I was really trying to impress him with like my real estate understanding, he was like, that's kind of how we built right. And it has turned into one of the best mentorships. There still is that piece you're talking about, right? Where there's some things that just aren't identified, not identified, but there's a little bit of that barrier, right? Where it's just like something's like, well, this, and I'm like, for instance, we're talking about like fund management, right? And he's like, when the real estate crashed in '08, all those guys who were hedge funds, they all crashed. And they started something new, and they're fine now. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. And I'm like, I'm Black, right? I was like, have you heard of all those ones on social media? What's the dude with the radio show in New York?
Charlamagne?
Charlamagne, the guy? His partner.
DJ Envy.
DJ Envy got brought up on charges.
Oh, yeah.
Jay Morrison, Big Biz. I was like, they're not going to, I can't just stop and I can't fail. Like, that's not a thing for me, right? It's going to be a scam. It's not a thing. And that was something that I was just like, it's culturally, you don't understand that with my community, right? Yeah. So there are those things. But everything else has been pretty sweet.
So you're saying it's worth still pursuing, even if there are those.
It's a teaching moment too, though. Like, a lot of times I think it is like you have the leverage in educating them. Yeah. Right. And those things, right. So I think sometimes we can't just assume people are going to understand us, because if that's the case, we're going to assume that they're going to go off what they've seen. Yeah. And if what they've seen is what you just said, all those things, I'm like, no, that ain't it. Let me tell you who I am. Let me tell you who we are. So I do think it is a lot to walk into a space where we're the minority and we have to like literally like PSA Jay-Z this shit every time, bro. Like, allow me to reintroduce myself. This is who we are. Like, this is how we roll, So it's a lot, bro. Let's just call it what it is. But it's definitely worth it. Now we're at the tail end of this episode. First of all, just appreciate both y'all for being here, man. I never know how these episodes are gonna go, right? I just know that the intention is set in advance, and we show up and we do what we do. But we always wrap up every episode with each of us providing the audience with one well-being tip for the day that they can leave with. So I'm gonna let Caleb start. Or Marshall, who wants to go first? I'll go first.
Yeah, you started.
I normally pass it off to them because I don't really know what I'm gonna say sometimes.
We all in the same boat.
Good one. I got one.
Yeah, I probably should have prepped y'all. My
No,
bad.
I got one.
You got one? Okay,
Yeah, I
go
got
ahead.
one.
You start.
Because I just started doing this, and it's actually it's been really beneficial.
Okay.
So if you haven't yet, there's an app called the Calm app. And I got the monthly. I had to shell out $64 for it
Shout
for the
out.
whole year, but I have been using those to do like intentional walks, intentional breathing, like body scan meditations, and you can do it for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. And just taking that space for myself has allowed me to connect deeper spirituality wise.
Yep.
And I don't really subscribe to like a specific spirituality, but I can feel it when I'm aligned. And that has been the best thing that I have done probably for the last year. I realized I hadn't been meditating and I hadn't been in some sense praying, and I think a lot of times when people do prayer and it works out for them, they can attribute it to the higher power, and that is a very real possibility. But a lot of it is putting your mind, energy, and ability towards focusing on a goal that you're trying to obtain or a certain outcome. And that level of manifestation, I don't know by what studies, but it's scientifically proven to yield better results. So
Yeah.
I'd say download the Calm app and meditate for however long or short you want to.
That's real. That's crazy because that was gonna be mine. I swear to God.
Calm
that-
app?
No, just meditation.
I was like, it's Calm app. You just sponsor this thing.
Shout. Hey, Calm, what's up? Cut the check, Calm. Meditation was gonna be mine, but I'll also add another one that that has been working for me. I need to be more consistent with it, but that's journaling. And however that looks for you. For me, it's on my notes app. And I don't do it every day, but I would like to. But when I do it, it's a way of like kind of setting things in place and kind of keeping me present in where I'm at today. Like when I write it, I'll have a date, timestamp, all that. Because I just want to be clear. This is right now.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm at right now in this moment. So definitely journal, take some time to like just stop and really type out, write out your thoughts, reflect. And I think it's just helpful, man. Because we be moving, man. We be moving and shaking and the world ain't stopping either. So
Do you ever look back on like, what was I thinking? Do you ever do that?
bruh.
I was on one.
Yeah. Sometimes it'd be about nothing. I'd be like, okay. I had to get something off that day, But yeah, no, definitely that's my well-being tip. Just definitely try to journal if you can.
Yeah, I think my well-being tip is like a goal of mine, and that is to like schedule my discomfort, right? Whether that is like working out. I was doing cold showers last year, which was it almost put you into a meditative state instantly, right? I should get back to it, but I haven't. But just kind of scheduling. Even I think meditation is even like, I think we all like to think like nothing feels better than just mulling over a problem, but just clearing your head or just focusing on one thing is it doesn't release dopamine like you want to. So yeah, I think I just kind of like focus on trying to find discomfort and having it at a certain time, so the rest of my time is better, and getting rid of as many things that are going to like. I deleted delete social media. I have times where I'm on it. I love the gram. Trust me, I do.
Deactivate, not delete.
Deactivate.
Yeah. We're gonna come back. We want to spin the block.
I don't delete. I still got it. I check it every Saturday, but I just don't have it so I can go on it really quickly because Instagram has known me since I was 22. It knows me really well. It knows exactly what I want to see
when you say it like
at
that.
all times, right? It's just like TikTok thinks I'm a Republican, so I can do that. But Instagram knows me, right? So
Instagram knows all of us, bro.
Yeah.
So those are my.
I like that. Schedule your discomfort. That's dope.
That's dope. Well, man, both of y'all, thank you for being here. Like I said, man, we do these every month. Looking forward to the next one, but man, in the meantime, in between time, for those of you listening, thank you for tuning in. And on that note, be well. Thank you.
Thank you, man.